All right, we're live. Aloha, everyone. We are live and inspired today. I am your host, Prairie Cobrana, also known as Handsome Cobra. Here, let me get up. Let me get up more on the mic and mic. But yeah, I'm coming at you with a new little ditty, and something I wanted to talk about there, friends, and that is the topic that you probably saw, and that is, I have to say I don't know if it's like a social experiment or an academic experiment for me, but I'm trying to get into anime and manga, manga, if you will, the old manga action. So I figured, I have a little free time, I'll talk about like some of the things that I have either watched or picked up and read a little bit of, and we'll just go from there. Because yeah, I haven't really didn't really write a script or anything, but yeah, we'll just go on this fantastic voyage, this fantastic journey, uh, the never-ending story, if you will, which is called life. Well, let me tell you something about life, friends. No, I so the reason why I wanted to get because basically what I'm doing is I'm getting out of my comfort zone, I guess you could say. And damn it, see that was going to be the original title that I had. I couldn't think of what I was going to call it because I was like, man, I came with such a good title for this. And yeah, it's basically just it's getting out of my comfort zone. And because okay, so when I was growing up, many moons ago, I'm gonna show the mileage here, kiddies, a little bit. When I was growing up, my brothers and I, we had Robotech, Voltron, and what the hell was the other one? Oh, Thundercats. And so that was kind of like our animation or anime. And well, He-Man too, but He-Man sucked. I didn't care for that too much. GI Joe was cool. Transformers, of course. But if we're just straight up talking like more anime style, then we're gonna have to go Robotech, which my brother Mark always corrects me. It's the Macross Saga, you know. I'm like, all right, man, let's just chill out with all that. It's like, I know in America it was just Robotech, but I do understand that yes, it's technically the Macross Saga with Roy Folker and Rick Hunter and stuff like that. Yeah, but I just call it Robotech. And yeah, and so that's what I first got into growing up. Uh, uh, Akia or Akira, if you're American, and then later on, I got really into Ghost in the Shell because it was like real heady. It was real Blade Runner esque type. Um, I I tried getting into Appleseed. I think it was called. I've seen a little bit of it. I didn't really. It just wasn't at that time. It just really wasn't my cup of tea when it came out. And so yeah, I've tried. I've seen it um, at like my local like used bookstore, in their anime section because they sell like anime Blu-rays and DVDs and stuff like that. So, I kind of want to get into it again. And the reason why I'm actually getting into this is because I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone. Because I'm getting old, and I want to try new things. I want to experiment a little bit, you know. And so I've always had so indirectly, I always had like an affinity for things like anime, especially like Dragon Balls. The Shonen Jump stuff is what I believe it's called. Like, well, like Dragon Ball Z. Like I watched that in college before I joined the military. My brother Carl and I, we would watch that stuff. So my first year, uh, half a year of college, I would watch that. The whole Frieza saga that went on for fuck all 20,000 episodes, and Goku trying to reach Super Saiyan level. It's like, and I do remember watching Dragon Ball, and it was kind of funny too, because like when I was in college, they had the Toonami on Cartoon Network, and this is like when we still had cable, before well, at least I cut the cord. And so you had stuff like Mobile Suit Gundam or Gundam Wing. You had Ronin Warriors. You had Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z. And that's also like I got into that too. Now, when I joined the military, I kind of got out of it. Now, I knew a really good buddy of mine in service who was really into anime. I just couldn't get into it at that time. I was just like, women and booze, and or were a little bit more important to me than animation and cartoony pictures, in a volume form. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying my priorities were it didn't line up the same. Like, I couldn't have my cake and eat it too. I just had to go with one or the other, and so yeah. But now that I'm older, I really don't give a shit. I mean, if I have a lady over and she sees that I have fucking Attack on Titan, the first volume of that in manga form, I'm like, fuck it, don't like it, get the hell out. I mean, I don't give a shit. It's like, but yeah, so I mean, that's what happens when you get old. You get very jaded and bitter and full of disappointment and bad thoughts. So usually about the world. But no, so yeah, I just want to broaden my horizons, and basically it's getting out of my comfort zone. It's kind of like a social experiment for myself, I guess, in ways too, because you have to understand, like, where I work with younger people. So people are like, Ghost in the Shell, Blade Runner, what the fuck's that? And a lot of them, they know stuff like and see, here's one. Here's an anime and a manga that I picked up, Naruto or whatever fuck you call it. I always think of Menudo when I say it, so that's my problem. But I've been watching that. Like, I watched the first season, or I'm sorry, the first 135 episodes, none of the filler stuff, on Netflix. And that actually came out in 2005, and I was already in the military at that point. And so that's, once again, like, all this stuff that people are, I guess, like, mainstream stuff, because that's what kind of people call it. Like, I was already in the military, and I heard about it, didn't really know about it. But yeah, and at that point, I just didn't really have any real kind of interest in it. So, but I mean, I've gone back and watched it, and I actually really enjoyed it. A buddy of mine, he was telling me, listen, look, man, after Sasuke, which is Sasuke Uchiha, who's a main character in the Naruto Shippuden, and then Boruto, Naruto: The Next Generations. That's a fucking title. He plays a significant character in those arcs, because from what I gather, Naruto is part 1, Naruto Shippuden is part 2, and then Boruto is what they call it, New Era. And the reason, and I think out of all the, even Dragon Ball Z, out of all the anime that so far that has like really kind of sunk its teeth in me, is Naruto, because of one character in particular, and it's not Naruto or Sasuke or even Sakura. No, not Jiraiya or Tsunade. No. It's not even Orochimaru, Oh, Mr. Snake Guy. No, it's actually Kakashi Hatake. And I really like the character of Kakashi Hatake because he's older. He, if you know his backstory a bit, he is kind of like a prodigy. I don't want to say prodigy. He's more. When he was younger, he's very determined and stuff to be better than like his father, and there's reasons why, but at the end of the day, because I believe his father was a part of the third shonen, or no, I'm not shonen. Jeez, the third Shinobi World War, and his father, basically, to just break down, his father saved his comrades, his teammates, instead of finishing the mission. So their mission was a failure, and everyone basically blames his father, Kakashi's father, for what happened to the village. Now, I think the village, because the village suffered major casualties, even though the village won or was on the winning side, they suffered major casualties, and his friend, his teammates were like, "Hey, thanks so much, Kakashi's father," which I don't know the name of. But later on, and then the village blamed Kakashi's father, but later on, as time went on, the teammates that he saved, Kakashi's father saved, they started blaming him. And Kakashi's father started going into depression and stuff like that, and he opted out with seppuku, which is suicide. Because he'll instead of standing his ground, he'll let everybody in the village kind of like determine his fate, and that kind of gave Kakashi an actual motivation to basically be better than his father, right? Stick by the rules and stuff like that, and be very motivated, and just kind of more cold and callous when he was younger. But as time went on, he saw that, yeah, it's the bonds that you make with your other fellow shinobis that make you because you're in these teams. I mean, for fuck's sake, these teams of 3, and you depend on each other. I mean, you're a fire team or a small squad. I mean, you literally like depend on each other. I mean, if you've been in scouts or reconnaissance teams, you depend on one another. You got to have that person's left and right, or you're gonna get eliminated, permanently. And that's where. And so over time, Kakashi actually he changed his viewpoints, and when he was like a teenager, he started seeing the ways of his old man. But he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna let the fucking. But then what happened is that at some point he kind of gets a little bit lazy, or he seems, he just seems very nonchalant, not giving a shit about a lot of things. He seems undriven, basically, until the day comes that he meets Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. And what's really cool is that before Kakashi, every team that he was assigned to, they failed their test to become. Oh well, I'm not. I was gonna say Geni, but they already passed. But they failed to be a team with him. So he failed everybody except for Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. And the reason why is because they put the team before the eye. Yeah, instead of being all about individuality, which a lot of the other teams were. The three of them were like, no, we're a team. We got to work as a team. We fail as a team. And then Kakashi took them on, and that's, and for me, that character right there, I can see qualities in myself that I can latch onto, and that kind of helps me to kind of further go along the adventure of watching the show. Because if I don't really see, and that's the thing too, if I can't see like I don't want to say personal attachment, but if I can't like identify with anything in a show, I'm not gonna fucking watch it. I'm sorry. It's like I'm not gonna watch it for watching's sake. Like if there was no character in Naruto that I'd be like, fuck this. I would have dropped that shit probably 20 episodes in. But a good thing is that I did have like the character Kakashi, who's pretty badass. He has like the Sharingan, and they call him the copy ninja because he can copy different types of jitsu. He has like copied over 1,000 jitsus already, and yeah, and he has his own. I think it's called Chori, which is basically he does like the lightning blade, which is it looks fucking badass. He actually teaches Sasuke that, and yeah, it's pretty dope. So that out of all the ones I've seen so far, I really enjoy that one. It's really really intriguing, really enduring. Yeah, I just really find enjoyment out of watching it. So, and then now I'm on Shippuden, watching that. So I'm only 5 episodes in, but it's pretty cool. With Shippuden, which I believe in Japanese means hurricane. It's set 2.5 years after the events of episode 135, because basically what happened, there's like, I think in total 220 or 219 episodes of Naruto, or part 1. But the thing is that all the rest from like 136 on to like 220 is basically filler, from what I was told. It's just that's filler, and the guy and my buddy was like, man, I wasted 2 motherfucking years, man, on this shit. But it's like one of those things where, because I think Shippuden came out in like, I want to say late 2007, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe early 2008. But the thing is that I'm just kind of like this, because if he was keeping up with it at the time, then I'm just kind of like, well, dude, I mean, what else did you have to do? I mean, you still had, I mean, yeah, I mean, they are filler episodes. But see, that's from what my research that I've done is that you have to understand that the Shonen Jump, they're weekly stuff that comes out. Now, when they come out in like volumes, like here in America, they are there because they come out with like weekly chapters, and and those chapters are collected into like 7 or 10 chapters. So that's basically like 2 months, or over 2 months, depending on how big it is and stuff like that. I mean, it could be 3. And you're getting it for like $10, like the Naruto ones. Like I picked up Naruto the manga, and it was only $10, $9.99, and I picked up the first volume of that. I also picked up other first volumes too that I'll get into, but I kind of want to stick on the Naruto train for a minute. But yeah, and so that's why I'm just kind of like, okay, man, it's like if you don't really have any other thing to do. I mean, and also too, filler episodes can be cool. I mean, it can be, because you're to me, I look at it like this: you're going on a further adventure with characters. That's like Fairy Tail. One of like a show that I really like is Fairy Tail. Like I'm almost all caught up. I'm not really caught up on there's like 3 or 4 episodes that just kind of came out that I'm not caught up on. But still, the thing is that those had filler episodes that were in side stories that you can. I actually have one of the manga side stories, and I see it. I'm like, oh shit, that was in this episode of the anime. They totally took it straight from a side story, which is cool. And so it has nothing to do with canon, but it's one of those things. Like there's like I think in Fairy Tail there's one that has to do with the rainbow cherry blossom, and Lucy wanting to see it and stuff, but she's sick. And so what Naruto and Happy do is that they actually up more Naruto than Happy, but probably. But Naruto uproots the rainbow cherry blossom tree, because it only blooms this because they have like this festival for it. He uproots it, puts it on a fucking boat, and where Lucy's apartment is, Lucy Harfilia's apartment, one of the main characters of Fairy Tail, it overlooks like the canal, and so he puts it on a boat and just rolls it down the canal. So she looks out her window because she sees like this illuminating essence, like in her apartment, and she's lying in bed sick. So she goes out her window, and next thing you know, she sees the rainbow cherry blossom tree just strolling on by down the river. I mean, it's pretty cool. And was it Master Makarov is all like not so what I do, and but yeah, so that's a pretty cool side story. I figured I'd share that. But yeah, so that's where I come in, where I'm just like, yeah, hey man, I mean, filler stuff can be good. I understand that, yeah. It takes a while because animation, because what they do with you have to understand, a single episode is like 20 minutes, but they cram like 3 or 4 chapters within that episode, because a chapter, because maybe like one chapter or maybe one story arc goes on for like 4 chapters, right, in the Shonen Jump Weekly. So it's not like a comic book where you have because I don't know how much, because I'm not in Japan, so I don't really know, but I'm guessing that the Shonen, because it's in the Shonen Jump magazine, I'm guessing it's a couple of pages, right? Or a few pages. So like 5 pages, I'm guessing. And then once you get it collected and stuff like that, it's not like a comic book, where a comic book, usually comes out monthly, or sometimes it's bi-weekly, so 2 months. But still, that's because you have like another artist or something like that. So, but even that, I mean, you have like somewhere between like 22 to 30 some odd pages, and that's coming out monthly. So it's a little bit different. I mean, but yeah, the but yeah, Naruto is like really good. I'm really enjoying that. Um, and we're gonna keep on keeping on, and I'll because I did because see, I've kind of like into some invested some money into seeing what all the anime hype is all about and stuff like that, and trying to get myself because you have to understand it's like going to conventions too, like going to EtsuCon at ETSU, at uh, even conventions like RobCon and Conapalooza. There's more and more of an anime slash manga presence there. So and it keeps on building. And this is like fucking Tennessee of all places, East Tennessee. So which I'm which I'm not trying to be a pompous, arrogant ass or anything like that. I'm just saying that I'm shocked and amazed that even people out here have caught on to that bug. It's surprising and actually, good for them. That's how I view it. So I'm not trying to be condescending or anything like that. It's just I'm just shocked and amazed, and I'm actually happy for these people that it's cool that they actually that they're getting that more and more people are into this stuff, even out in a southern place like this. That's kind of cool. But I do see, and that's one of those things too. Like even at, and that's like I can't make fun of people who like do like uh, anime cosplay or anything like that, because basically, or people who go to conventions and stuff like that, just because it's like, hey, it's supposed to be a comfort zone and stuff. It's supposed to be a comfort zone for them. They're a lot of them are the socially awkward people that just don't know how to talk with people or don't want to be around people, and they're coming together to share this like-minded experience with each other. Sometimes you get this. I mean, a lot of times motherfuckers are smelly and they just, they have poor hygiene, oral, bodily. It's just ridiculous. It's like, man, just like fucking take a shower, every day. Stop eating McDonald's for once. And eat a fucking banana or something. Some fruit. Or an apple. Oh yeah, that's fruit too. Okay, squash. There we go. That's a vegetable. But yeah, but at the end of the day, it's supposed to be a comfort zone. It's supposed to be a place where they can share in this experience of like-mindedness. So I guess that's what kind of intrigues me a little bit too about it. So I want to. So I'm not saying, even like me, I don't care if I tell people, like, I'm not gonna be like it, if at the end of the day I tend to like manga or anime. Like, because I would say that right now I'm dabbling in it. I wouldn't say I'm like really hardcore, because like people ask me all the time, hey, since you're getting into it, subbed or dubbed? And I'm like, no, man, I do that dubbed shit, bro. It's like I don't do sub. The only time when I'll do sub is like, unless if like literally like the English version hasn't caught up, like One Piece, right? There's like 570 some odd episodes that are dubbed, but there's like it's on like 835 episodes that are subbed. So because apparently no English speaking production company has basically bought the rights to license it out for English. So I was like, well, fuck, man. maybe there's just not any interest anymore, or the interest is so small here in the States or English speaking countries like Australia and the UK that there's just not there's they don't really see a good return on their investment. So I can understand that from a business perspective. Yeah, I mean it makes sense. But yeah, but I will talk about a little bit about like, okay, so I mentioned before about the actual like volume mangas I've gotten. So I have a lot of volume. Well, yeah, I say probably like 10 to 12 volume ones. Um, so because I wanted to see how they coincide the actual uh, with the anime itself. So I picked up volume one of Fairy Tail. I picked up volume one Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest. Now that has not been an anime, and it's actually a sequel to Hiro Mashima's Fairy Tail because he wrapped it up with volume 63. I actually have that volume too, so I have the first one and the last one because I wanted to see how it ended and the actual story of Fairy Tail, and ends pretty good. And then I heard about 100 Years Quest, which is set a year after the events of volume 63. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And the thing is that in Fairy Tail, you have these different job classes. You have what is it like? You have like your regular jobs, and you have your S classes. Then you have your decade classes, your decade or half a decade, and then you have century, which is the 100 Years Quest. So they say, the reason why they rank it like that because they're saying that, hey, most likely it's going to take like 100 years to do this fucking thing, because you have to travel so long. And a person who does like these crazy like long quests like S class and uh, decade long quests or century quests. I don't know if he has or not, but a person who would be this character name of Guild Arts, who is actually another character in the show and manga, Kana's father, but you don't find that out until way later on in the show. So and manga as well. But yeah, so you have a lot of the main characters: Lucy Arphilia, Natsu Dragnail, was it Grateful Buster, well, Happy, of course, and Ursa or Urza Scarlet, and all of these like they call them like I think the strongest team in the guild, is what, yeah, the strongest team in the guild is what they call them, and so they all go on this like 100 years quest, and apparently there's like, because you have like Agnologia, who's like the black dragon, and and the and so they defeat him at the end. But there's all these. I think they're called the five dragon gods, and so they have to search for these people, and they're like the elder god, elder dragons or something like that, and they have to go all around like to different continents. Um, shit, because I can't remember what continent they're on. Because Fioria is, yeah, Fioria is like the state. I can't remember the continent. And Magnolia is what they're in. The actual city that they're in. I can't remember the continent. But yeah, so they have to go all around the world, going to different continents and stuff like that, places that they didn't even know existed. Because there's only like two continents that they know of. One to one to the west, and then the one that they're on, which is like east. And the reason why they know about the one to the west is because Zareth, who is Natsu's elder brother, was the emperor over there, but he was known by another name. So yeah, so they go on this 100-year quest, and I got the first volume of that, and I skimmed through it a little bit. It looks pretty good. And Hiro Mashima, actually, he did the storyboards for it, so he laid the whole thing out because at first he said, "Hey, listen, look, there's not going to be a sequel to Fairy Tail, boohoo, right?" And then the company I worked for, they asked, "Hey, listen, look, do you mind just doing like storyboards? I mean, do you have anything in the hopper that you could just do storyboards, and we'll get somebody else to do the artistry for it?" And it's like, yeah, it's like I kind of did. He did. I mean, I guess he kind of broke down and said, yeah, I kind of do. I know where these characters are going to go. So, he did like the storyboards, drew them and stuff like that. And it's like, and I don't know how many fucking volumes. I think there's already like 3 so far. Like the first one came out in America, just like I picked it up like last week. But like so far there's a total of 3 volumes. I don't know if it's going to be like fucking 10 or 25. I'm guessing it's not going to be as long as Fairy Tail, like 63. So, but yeah, so far it seems pretty good. I don't know if I'll get volume 2. That I don't know. But okay, so that's one that I have. So those are 2, Fairy Tail and Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest. I have Attack on Titan. I have the first volume of that. I have the first volume of Rave Master, if you can believe that. That's Hiro Mashima's first manga they ever did. It's by Tokyo Pop, and a person was telling me, yeah, Tokyo Pop went out of business, man. That's why you can't find it no more. I'm like, oh, okay. And yeah, and it was kind of crazy. I found it in a retailer up in New Hampshire. Found it and got it. So it was great. I got Naruto and Boruto, the first volumes of those. Eden Zero, which is Hiro Mashima's, another one that he actually started, because that's the thing, is he quit Fairy Tail so he could do Eden Zero. One Piece, I have the first volume of that. I think it's called Dragon Quest Monsters. Sorry. I like the Dragon Quest games, so I figured I'd pick that up, and I like the cover. The cover's pretty badass. So, what else did I pick up? Oh, Black Clover. That seemed pretty interesting. A person was telling me about the premise, and I read a little bit of synopsis. That this kid basically wants to be like the best wizard in their world, but the thing is that he doesn't have any wizarding powers. But what he does have at his disposal is that he actually negates other wizards. So he's kind of like anti-wizard kind of sort of thing. He basically he basically negates their powers, their wizarding powers. So it's actually pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And so because of the whole thing is like, can he become the greatest wizard by negating other wizards' powers? It's like, so. One that I didn't pick up, but I do have the whole series of, which is a Shonen Jump, is Death Note. I picked that up at Walmart for $20. I don't think I'm going to get the manga. I may not. I don't know if I'll get the first volume of that. But the thing is that the reason why I picked up the mangas is because I want to see how they differ. Because, like, I can tell you, like, this right now, Boruto differs a hell of a lot. Or I should say hell of a lot. But a certain, like, my favorite character in Naruto, Kakashi Hatake, He doesn't even show up in like the 6 volumes of Boruto, the manga, but he is in the Boruto anime. So that's where those differ. And I'm like, yeah, I'm totally glad I have the fucking anime, because I believe he shows up in episode 13 of the anime. Like, that's when he first shows up. I actually have the first 2 volumes of the anime series. So it's like it's like 1 through 26, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, because the first volume is like 1 through 13. The next one is 14 through 16. So yeah, or I mean 14 through 26. Sorry. But yeah, so yeah, pretty good. Oh, what's another one? I know there's a few more I can't think of. I tried to remember. Well, see, a lot of ones too. Like I got one that's called it's a Naruto. It's a side story. Kakashi's story. So, and that's more not that's more of an actual novel rather than a manga. So I picked up that as well. But yeah, I don't have a lot of, like I said, I have a very limited amount. And also too, it's like, you understand, I mean, they're like $10 to $11 a pop. So it's like, if I have like 12, that's like you're looking at fucking like 120 some odd dollars that I invested, just in like these first volumes, just to give them a try. Like, see, One Piece, the reason why I wanted the first volume, because I wanted to see how it differed from the actual kind of like the first episodes of that, and not too much actually. It's kind of amazing that the actual animation is really kind of spot on a bit, and it kind of helps you to break up too, to see, okay, so it stops here, so that means that this was like 6 episodes, so the first volume is kind of like 6 episodes, so that's also, it's also a nice educational tool as well, to help uh, speculate and decipher, okay, kind of marginalize and measure the length of a story that's being told and stuff like that in both manga and anime form. So I mean, but see, I'm into that shit. I wouldn't say it's like nerdy, because I hear people say you should. Oh, I'm into nerdy stuff. It's like, yeah, I'm a nerd. It's like, motherfucker. It's like, man, you're into what you're into. I mean, apparently, somehow, some way, being a nerd became cool. I'm just like, man, fuck, dude. I mean, if you want to call me a nerd, fine, dude. But I'm not gonna say that. Oh yeah, I'm a nerd. I'm into nerdy stuff. It's like, motherfucker, I'm into what I'm into, man. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what the fuck you're into. If you're into the same shit as myself, great, cool, man. Right on. We can have a conversation. If you're not, fuck it. But I'm not, I mean, most nerdy people I knew grew up back in the day, man, were antisocial as fuck. They fucking hung out in the parents' fucking cellar, and they smelled. I mean, those are the nerds that I knew back in the day. So I wouldn't like really. So if you're trying to equivalate yourself to that, then by all means, my friend, you fucking go right ahead, and I'll just be over here on my fucking island, because I don't want to get that fucking stanky ass fucking non-bathing shit on me. You know what I'm saying? But that's cool, man. You just stay on your private little fucking you just stay over there, man, with all the other smelly people, man. I just be on my own private Idaho over here, man. So yeah, it's one of those things. Now I'm acting like a dickhead, but it's but it's just when I hear people, it kind of turns the dial to 11 a little bit when I hear people say that shit nowadays. I had somebody in work say that shit, and I was just like, really? I mean, because he was with either his girlfriend or his friend who happened to be female. But yeah, he said some stupid shit like that. And I was just like, dude, let me tell you something. Because he was talking about some computer shit. And I was like, bro, you ain't got to be fucking. I mean, I wouldn't call myself a nerd because I know how to build fucking computers here, man. It's like, or I'm using fucking a computer to do a fucking vid pod, man. It's like, it's just technology, bro. It's like everyone fucking uses it because it's become more and more of a necessity, just like internet. Just like I definitely believe internet should be cheaper because it's become more and more of a necessity, kind of like how power and water are. You know, but you know, but it's but yeah, it's just because you need internet because a lot of people need internet for work. You know, I know I do at my work. I mean, if I got to look up shit, you know, I got to go get a computer. So, and if our Wi-Fi is down, then we're kind of fucked. But yeah. But yeah, so that's I'm sorry I got off on a tangent. But yeah, so I don't like it when people do that. It's because they sound stupid and ignoramus, and they just and let me tell you something. If you are into quote unquote nerdy shit, you're just being you, baby. That's the only thing you are into what you're into. It don't fucking matter. You know, if people say it's nerdy or not, don't fucking label it. Just be like, yo, listen, look, man, I'm into what I'm into. You don't like it, go fuck yourself. That's the only thing I say to people, man. I mean, if they don't like that shit, and then they're gonna try to punch in the face, and you just kick their ass, and then call the police or fucking they can just fuck off, man. Whatever. Because you'd be like, hey, bitch, this all self-defense, man. That motherfucker tried to come at me. It's like, because I told him to go fuck himself. And with the dead man's ding-a-lang. But yeah, so yeah, that's all, man. It's like, yeah, you are in. People, let me tell you, you're beautiful. You're into what you're into. So don't worry about it. It's all good. Ain't nobody got to label you. So fuck it. And that's me. It's like, I don't, and that's the thing about me. I don't really care. I don't care what people think of me. It's cool, man. It's cool. But yeah, so yeah, that was a good chat. All right. Now we're cooking with Crisco. No. So yeah. But yeah. Good times, good times. I'm really trying to think of like because I don't have the books with me, so it's in the other room, and I don't want to get up and then have to. But yeah, man, I know. There's a couple more. I can't just think of them, but yeah, that's fine. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to talk about this a little bit. Yeah, talk about like myself getting out of my comfort zone, and just trying out new things. Oh yeah, there was one I wanted, but I couldn't find. Battle Angel Alita, and I know like the movie is called Alita Battle Angel, but the actual manga is Battle Angel Alita. And the only thing I could find it in was hardcover at Books A Million, and I sure as fuck wasn't gonna buy that shit because I was trying to find it like in its original format, but paperback. But I'll probably cost like an arm and a leg at this fucking point to try and find that. It's probably out of print too, what I'm guessing. But it's fine. Yeah, I just remembered it too. Sorry. My Hero Academia. That's another one that I picked up the first volume of. Now here I will say this: I haven't seen the first season, but I do own the movie My Hero Academia: Two Heroes. Lady fantastic lady I work with. She was telling me all about it yesterday. Her and fiance are really into My Hero Academia. And so she was telling me, because she was like, you have to see the first, second, and third season before you start seeing the movie, or it's not gonna make sense. I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna raw dog it and just fucking go right in. I don't give a shit about the damn movie. I'm not gonna fucking wait for this crap. And but yeah, so yeah, but I hear a lot of good things about My Hero Academia from a lot of people. Apparently, that's their favorite. And then one that I tried to get into that looked very similar to Robotech was Neon Genesis Evangelion, and I've seen like half of the first episode. Let me tell you, I just on Netflix, and I cannot get into it. I just fucking can't. Other stuff that I've been trying to get into. I mean, I know I need to get into. People told me I need to watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Hunter x Hunter, Seven Deadly Sins, Code Grease, something like that. People told me that was also good. I don't know if Overlord's good. I'm kind of intrigued by Outlaw Star. That seems pretty cool. I'm still working on Samurai Champloo. I haven't finished that yet. I don't want to say I got tired of it. I just, I would say this is where my laziness comes in, because I was on Netflix and I was just looking to see what anime they had, and I popped on Naruto, and I said to myself, I was just going to watch like maybe 3 episodes. That's an hour, 3 episodes only. I went full. I mean, after those 3 episodes, I was like, this ain't bad. So I just kind of kept on with that. And so that one caught my interest more than going back to Samurai Champloo. But yeah, so that's why I haven't finished that yet. Fu, Mogan, and Jin, and I like those characters, but they ain't on Netflix. So, and I'm a little, I'm getting lazier in my old age with the not wanting to put the Blu-ray in the Blu-ray player and shit. So, because it's just easier just to stream stuff. I know, I'm getting so bad. It's so funny too, because like I own it, and it's like, yeah. And I'm just too lazy to put it in the Blu-ray player. But yeah, I am looking forward to watching that. And I remember I saw like half of I picked up Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super Broly, I think it is. I picked that one up too, and I seen half of it on the interwebs. And then they took that bitch down. I was like, man, that's fucking crazy. But yeah, so it's like, so I picked that one up because I really liked it. It was pretty cool. So I could finish up the second half of it. And apparently, like, there's an extra like 45 minutes on the Blu-ray that is like that wasn't shown in the theater, and so I was like, oh, okay, cool, right on. Which is just probably more fighting or some shit. But yeah, so I think that's gonna do it for this episode. But yeah, sorry that I guess my brain's a little scattered today, but yeah, I just wanted to make this video and talk about anime and manga, and just getting out of my comfort zone and just trying to get into it. If you watch this video and have any other suggestions for me, please let me know. And yeah, and if you want, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Do appreciate that. Trying to build the the old brand up, the old handsome cobra-ness, trying to build the quiver up again. So yeah, but hey, thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, really good, really good to. Sorry, I just want to say something before. It's really good to get back on the interwebs again. Uh, I don't know if I'm gonna be doing this like on a regular, like Chris and I were doing. Gentlemen with cocktails. Uh, I mean, right now I can tell you that the show has been put on hiatus, uh, just because my schedule, his schedule. It's just, and also too, it's just, uh, yeah, and also like I like, well, our show is great. I love doing it. It's just that I always see like I'm seeing more and more like technical issues like come up in the show as well, and it's either on my end, his end, just poor internet, just or what's going on. So I do feel bad, and I want to have like, if I'm doing something, I want to have like a standard, and if I can't, because I love talking about comic books, I do, and pop culture stuff and all that jazz, I really do. But if it's getting so bad where there's kind of like a 5 second delay, and I'm talking, and then he jumps in because he thinks I'm done, and then I have to stop, and then he's talking, and then and if there's a delay on my end or whatever, and then I interrupt him, it really sucks. And and that's kind of like one of my pet peeves. And I just like, after a while, that shit just starts to wear on me. It's like, okay, because I might as well just shut the fuck up then, because I'll just let Chris go. Because apparently I know that that he has like a big ass delay in his internet because he lives up in the mountain. So it's just kind of like so yeah, and that just it gets a little long in the tooth for me at times. It's just annoying. It's not anything. I mean, and there's nothing that Chris can do about it, and there's nothing that I can do about it. It's just the way it is. Sometimes I have a shitty internet connection, and that's just the way it is. I mean, there's nothing that you can do, but but you invested that much time into it, into trying to put out, I guess, like for me, a quality product. I mean, it's not the greatest, but I mean, I do take pride in this. I just don't get on fucking YouTube. I mean, I don't have to go on YouTube and talk about stuff. I do it because I want to. And then when it becomes like I don't want to do this stuff, or it becomes more of a job, and it doesn't become fun anymore, then I'm just kind of like, okay, I have to take a backbeat and be like, all right, and analyze stuff. So, I mean, maybe subconsciously that's what I've been doing, just kind of analyzing stuff and just putting things, my priorities more for, like job and just my own personal stuff, like relaxing and my own personal time too. Because I see people who have the branding and stuff, and they're working constantly, like they're working like clockwork, you know, all the time on the interwebs. And if they take a vacation for too long, then people forget about them, because people have already moved on to the new red shiny bicycle that's fucking out in the front yard, or the neighbor's yard, or the kid across the street's yard. They've moved on. So that's why I'm just kind of like, yeah, I mean, but yeah, but it's cool. It's cool. So I don't. So yeah, I'm trying to. I'm just gonna put out videos when I do, going to stream when I do, and hopefully, people will catch it on the flip side. And if you like it, like I said before, please, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment too. I mean, I, I read comments when they come in, so I get notifications on my phone when they do. So So yeah, love to hear, even if it's like you suck. It's like, yeah, hey, thanks, man, or lady, thanks for, it's cool. It's not a problem. It's like, yeah, I probably suck. I more suck than blow, but that's good, I guess. But yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna get off now because I'm just ranting. But no, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone. Love to all. God bless, and as always, aloha. All right, thanks.